Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be playing with a ton of new makeup and a ton of old makeup that I haven't really touched in a long time. I was in the mood to do something very fall, very rich, very chocolatey, and just, you know, yummy. Before I get started, I wanted to just let you guys know my hair I did with the flat twist, which I have a video that I recently posted. If you go on my channel, it's like the third or fourth video before this, and I just did that. I haven't put anything else in my hair. My necklace is BNC. We don't have it anymore. I'm wearing this really yummy like emerald green sweater that is also Brenda Lynn & Cora. This is available, so I'll leave this link down below. And my nails are the color 385 from Beetlejuice gel polishes. So let's just get started. So I figured I could play with some stuff that I just purchased, play with some older things I haven't used in a really long time, and I'm going to use these lashes here that are from Dame Boss. These are volume 6, one of my favorites that are from this brand. I'm gonna take it back with the Shayla X Colourpop Under Construction Collection blush in the color Construction, a really beautiful like mauve, and Anastasia bronzer, Dose of Colors illuminator. The Friendcation palette, I bought this in the beginning of like the lockdown, like right around April. I bought this and I've never opened it. So we're gonna try that out. I'm gonna play with some foundations that I haven't used kind of in a while. I'm gonna mix the LA Girl Pro Matte HD Longwear foundation and the Stay Naked, which is one of my all-time favorite foundations. I have this Oma Beauty Stay Woke concealer. I bought these again in the very beginning of the pandemic, right around like the Black Lives Matter movement. Well, when it was like really strong. In the shade Honey T2. What time is it? It's 12:30. I got a lot of work done early this morning, and I just figured I could do my makeup so that I could film another video. I'm not even sure what type of video I want to film, but I figured if I have my makeup on, I'm more prone to doing an actual video. So I'm gonna start with prepping my face with the Tarte Maracuja Miracle Mist. This is just a hydrating mist, really similar to the Morphe one. I got this in a BoxyCharm a long time ago, and I haven't really used it much because I haven't been doing my makeup much. I think I'm gonna take it back and do my makeup the way I used to, which was my eyes first. So I'm going to fly through this. I'm gonna fill in my brows with the brow definer from Anastasia. I use the shade medium brown. Put some eye primer on, and then we're gonna go ahead and start with the eyeshadow. I'm going to be using this Pero Primero primer, Longwear Sticky Pigment Base from Alamar Cosmetics. I got this in my BoxyCharm, and I used it the other day to do my makeup, and I mean, I think it worked well. I have been using concealer, as I'm sure a lot of you guys have too, on my eyes for so long that I guess this works pretty well. It is like a creamy color, but once you put it on your eyes, like it's not clear. I don't know if you can tell the difference. It's not clear, but it's not super pigmented. Some people I know specifically like a base that will clear out your entire eye. I don't really care because I end up putting like setting with powder anyway, and that usually takes the color out. It is very sticky, like really sticky. So from what I saw last time when I used it, I do like to let it just like set for a second, and then I will pat it with my like nude colored base. So I'm gonna go into the Friendcation palette. I cannot believe I have not used this. Yeah, it's just sitting here. So I don't know what kind of look I want to do. I think I want to do like a halo type of situation. I have not done my makeup in such a long time that I'm just like, I'm gonna go in with the color Necessary first, which is this one here. It's pretty set, so I'm just gonna use that to set all of it. I'm not using too much just because I don't want a strong tone. So I'm literally just setting like super softly. So now I think I'm gonna go into Necessary again, and I'm gonna mix it very little with this color here, which is Churro, just because I know Necessary might not show up too strong. Maybe I was wrong. I haven't used this palette before, so I'm just like winging it. Let me zoom. It has more color payoff than I expected because it's such a light shade. Like, that's it right there. And look at the color payoff. So it's pretty strong. Next, I'm gonna go in with Churro. I was originally gonna pick that color up first, but did not know that this color was gonna be so pigmented. I'm just gonna look in this mirror here, and I'm going to, I have not done a halo eye in a very, wow, these colors come off way more intense than how they look in the actual palette. So I'm just going mainly here. When I personally do halo eyes, I don't like a very strong, since you're supposed to put the dark colors on the outside and the inner corner, I don't like to put a lot of intensity in the inner corner because it makes my eyes look very dark and like sleepy and tired and kind of gives you like the black eye look. I noticed that because I don't have a lot of lid space, so I don't like to cover this off and make it look like I have even less. So what I like to do is focus more of it on the outer corner. I like to take whatever's left over on the brush. I'll show you guys in a second. I don't like to like connect it here either. Like, I'll brush it in, but I don't like a lot of pigment in the middle or in the inner corner. So now that this has barely any pigment left, I will go in and lightly bring it. Just because, like I said, I don't like to close off the inner part of my eye too much. I'm gonna use this teeny tiny little brush. It's very small, and I like to use that with my darkest shade. So I'm going to use, is that Cheens or Dirty Money? No, it's Cheens. So I'm taking this one here, and I'm focusing the same thing, all of the color on the outer corner. Or most of the color on the outer corner anyway, and I'm putting like really light pressure just because it's easier to blend it that way instead of like shoving all of the product. Do the same thing on this side, and this is just to deepen up obviously the outer corner and inner corner to really give the gradient of the halo being in the middle. Taking whatever was left. So you can see I have the darkness there, but it's not as dark as this outer corner just because I don't like the way that works with my eye shape. And I go really lightly to avoid having that like, oh, you got punched in the eye sort of look. I'm gonna go in with one of these shimmers, and I would automatically do this one. No, I kind of want to do it. And that color is Just a Kiss. So I'm going to take it with my finger because that's obviously how these types of colors look best. Wow. I've been really into like a brown shadow liner, so I'm going to wet this brush here. This is an Aesthetica brush, that's all it says, and it's this tiny little point. Really good for liner. And oh wow, I just sprayed that all over my palette. I'm taking that dark brown that I used on the outer corner, and I'm gonna line my eyes. Whenever I do halo sort of eyes, I personally don't like to do wing liner because I feel like it takes the shape from being round because it's a halo, and it elongates it, so it like clashes it kind of. So I'm gonna put on some mascara, put on some lashes really quickly, and then we're gonna move on to the rest of the face. So I put the lashes on. It's always such a crazy look when you have your eyes like super done and dramatic and you have nothing on your face. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the face now. I'm gonna go in with Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation up to 24-hour wear. This is in the color 51NN. I'm gonna take one pump of that, and then I'm going to take a tiny bit of the LA Girl Pro Matte HD foundation, and this is in the color Cafe, just because my forehead is the darkest part of my face, and sometimes like you see how like I have already darkness here. I don't want to make it look super pasty. Beauty blending it. I use this foundation, the LA Girl one, every time I get really tan where none of my other foundations match me, which if you're not new here, you already know I get very tan in the summer from being in the sun. Like 10 minutes in the sun and I'm about 6 shades darker. No, I'm not exaggerating. So I love this foundation. Like I remember when we went to Italy a couple of years ago, that was the only foundation that I took with me. It's so long wearing. It's matte, but it doesn't make me dry. And over there, there's like no humidity. Like here, there's a lot of humidity, but in Italy, it's not humid at all. And it was pretty cold when I went. And even then, it didn't like dry my skin out. It didn't do like anything like that. So I really, really enjoyed it. And this Stay Naked foundation is one of my all-time favorites. For concealer, I'm gonna go in with this Oma Stay Woke concealer in the shade Honey T2. I bought this in like the beginning of quarantine-ish, and I haven't used it much, so I figured let's use it. It's a very hydrating concealer, so if you don't like hydrating concealers, I probably wouldn't recommend this one because it has lots of hydration and it's kind of dewy, even though obviously like once we set everything with powder, the dew kind of goes away. But if you're someone that's very dry and on your under eyes you like more of like that bright, fresh look, then you would like this. And there's lots of coverage to it, as you can tell. I almost bought Shape Tape the other day, and I think I was just like bored out of my mind, so I was like, oh, what can I buy? And I obviously didn't end up buying it because I like that concealer. That honestly is one of the best concealers of like our generation, I feel like. But I was like, I haven't used that in so long, like why would I need it now? But now I'm super excited. I'm gonna go into the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Complexion Perfecting Micro Powder. This is in the shade Medium 2, so it's obviously really, really bright, but I want to use it under my eyes. So I'm using my Beauty Blender, and I'm just patting it in. I saw someone on YouTube, I can't remember who it was, use this to set their under eyes, and it looked so pretty. So I'm like, okay, I want to use it to set my under eyes. And then I wonder if it'll look too light if I use it on my entire face, because I know the next one up, it's more like orangey in undertone, so I knew I did not want that one because I didn't want my face to look orange, which is something that drives me crazy so much with a lot of makeup brands. They think that the darker you get, or the more like deep you go in tone, the more orange you add. Like, just because you're tan or you're more brown does not mean that your skin is orange. I don't get it, but whatever. So the under eye looks incredibly smooth, like super, super smooth, but I do look very pasty. So I'm going to bronze up my skin, and I'm gonna use the powder bronzer in Cappuccino from Anastasia. I have not used this in forever, but we're gonna use it. It has like a nice reddish tone to it, which I do like, especially when I'm really tan. My skin gets very red in undertone. I'm normally pretty like warm to neutral. If you can see here, I have a lot of yellow in my skin, but I also have a good amount of pink. Like, you can see the pink here. So when I get really, really deep in complexion, I am very red in undertone. So I love the way this bronzer looks with my tan because it complements the red. I look alive again. Now for blush, I'm gonna go into the Under Construction Shayla X ColourPop blush in the color Construct. I used to use this all the time when I first got it, and then I forgot about it and it went in the back of my drawer. But it's a beautiful, neutral, everyday sort of blush. And I'm just gonna spray my face really quick. Wow, I really like the way the powder looks a lot. It's very smooth and really brightening. Like, I feel like the inner part of my eye looks really nice and bright. I'm going to use a tiny, tiny, tiny little brush, the Kat Von D brush, and I'm gonna take that color Just a Kiss and put it in my inner corner. I don't want to put too much because I don't want it to distract from the actual lid part. So we're just putting that in there. And then I'm going to take the other end of it. This is probably my favorite like lower lash line brush. And I'm only going to use Necessary because this color shows up really, really well. And this brush, like, you don't have to do anything. Like, you literally just run it across your lash line, and because it's so fat and dense, it like pretty much blends as you're putting it on. Like, I feel like you don't have to do any work at all. Now for highlight, I'm gonna use the Dose of Colors highlight in Mírame. I used to love this. It's still like one of my favorite highlighters because it shows so nicely on the skin. It's nice and intense, but but doesn't look like thick and powdery. I love the undertone of it because it's not too beige, it's not too gold, it's not too like frosty. It's just really, really nice. And once like you turn your face and the way that it catches the light is just amazing. Okay, now for lips, I'm wondering if I should do like a chocolatey lip because I never do that. I feel like I should. However, this lip you will not be able to find. This is something that I am collabing with Dame Boss on. So if you own the Colors by Cora collection, I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips with Café Hold de Leche lip liner. And then I'm taking Café Hold de Leche liquid lip. And I think I want to do a little layering moment. So I'm going to go in with Café con Leche liquid lip that is also coming soon. Okay, now I'm just going to be super excessive. So don't mind me here. And I want to warm it up just a tad. Alright guys, so that is everything for today's video. I really had fun playing. I don't play with much makeup anymore, so it's really fun for me whenever I do have a second to like sit down and just like play with eyeshadow and stuff. I am so happy that I use this, and I feel like I'm gonna be using it a lot more now. I really like this combo on my face. I feel like everything looks really like good and laid down and blended. I love this so far on my under eyes. And then the lips. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in the next video.